According to Google, sport is defined as any activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or a team competes against another or others for entertainment and for an athlete. It is defined as a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. How does cheerleading not fall in as a sport? There was an article that stated the top 10 reasons why cheerleading is a sport, written by Dan Popolowski. Stated on Bleacher Report on May 15th of 2011, cheerleading definitely fulfills the criteria, maybe even better than other activities commonly called sports. Good evening, Professor Riss, fellow classmates. My name is Brooke Gray. I'm here today to persuade you to understand why cheerleading is classified as a sport. If cheerleading is not considered a sport, then what is it? The issue today is many don't understand why cheerleading is a sport, because it's a group of people, a team, whom supports other groups and other teams. As Alyssa R. stated on July 7th, 2014 on ESPN, cheerleading is not classified as a sport. She stated, sports teams exist to compete, not to perform, and entertain or support another group that competes. Also, the Odyssey is a perfect example of how people falsely interpret cheerleading. The Odyssey believes that tumbling is effortless, that it can be done in one sleep and doesn't take years or even practice. In the article, it was also said that stunting takes skill, injuries never happen, and no cheering is an all-female sport, which all is false. Imagine being held 10 feet in the air by only one person. That is what you call a one-man stunt. Yes, it is dangerous. Yes, it requires skill, trust, and even strength. Cheerleading could be considered one of the most dangerous sports because of the stunning that is required. Ask yourself, would anyone be able to do it without the proper technique or practice? If it was so easy, everyone could do it, right? A way to resolve this huge debate will be to take action by holding a powder puff game. A powder puff game is basically a game where a male activity is played by women and vice versa. So women would play as football players and males will play as cheerleaders. You know, men take it as entertainment, but in reality, they wouldn't even be able to do what an actual cheerleader does. As stated by Asia Webb on the Daily Republic, cheer teams work out, cheer teams run, and they have to deal with all team players just like any other sport. The only difference is that this sport combines spirit, dance, blood, sweat, and cheer for its performance, and may or may not be competitive. Every sport is different, but all may follow the same concepts as to practice, setting a goal, team bonding, and more. Cheer is more than just supporting a team. It can be competitive. For example, football's goal is to score, as well as basketball, as well as soccer. But track goes based on points, as well as cheerleading. If cheerleading does not classify as a sport, then we can't consider anything else a sport. In all actuality, coming to the realization that female-dominant sports have the same equivalence as male-dominant sports would benefit all individuals. It would close the gap, and it'd help aid in inclusiveness for all, as well as promoting gender equity completely across the board. Equity for female and male sports could simply start as something as small as more prominent media coverage for female sports. In conclusion, cheerleaders work just as hard as football players, basketball players, soccer players, or your average track runner. They're all considered sports, and all players are considered athletes. Not everyone can partake in something that it requires dedication, skill, and precision. Cheerleading is more than what society looks at it as. I ask the audience to take action by signing a petition indicating that cheerleading is a sport. It's not easy, it requires specific skills, just like any other sport, and it deserves the same amount of media coverage. Thank you.